watching the Evilution Podcast. I am your host, the Hat Man, and I am joined today in the studio by a very special guest. I'm going to give a little introduction before I give him on camera. This is one of my very best friends. He is somebody who is supporting my crusade to make a living on my art full time. He is somebody who is supporting my crusade and giving me the space to experiment with how to do that. He is an all-around character, not a normal person, because I hate those. A true eccentric in the best meaning of the word. His name, or his moniker, is Harry the Taxman. He is, for all intents and purposes, one of the founders of our other podcast, the New World Order Broadcast, which we just finished up a new episode of. Now we're doing this. Yeah, for all intents and purposes, you're one of the founders. You were technically our first guest because I started that podcast with my brother. And then episode number 3, you came on. And it's probably our most popular episode for the New World Order Broadcast. It's called Death and Taxes. What the podcast is about is basically I am a representative of the New World Order, the Church of Satan, the Illuminati, everything that you fear and despise in our political climate in the United States of America. We're just letting you guys know about our plans. And you were technically our first guest. And tell everybody what we talked about on episode number 3, Death and Taxes.
We showed you how illegal the tax was and how to get around it. And I did, for the last 26 years, become tax-free. And I proved that. It was a hard road, but I proved that. And that was the most productive thing that we have ever done. And that took off from there. And that's the starting point.
So let me give a synopsis of this. There is a theory among conspiracy theorists, and as Anton LaVey said, countercultures invariably wind up becoming dominant cultures. But right now it's a conspiracy theory, it's fringe, that paying income taxes if you're a W-2 employee is illegal, that the 16th Amendment was never ratified. Is it the 16th or the 14th?
It's the 16th.
It's the 16th, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that supposedly makes income taxes legal, because constitutionally they're not. They needed an amendment to do that because you cannot have an unapportioned tax. So they passed some amendment, I think it's the 16th, that supposedly makes income taxes legal, but it was never ratified. And therefore, as a wage employee, paying income taxes is illegal. Now, this is a fringe conspiracy theory, and we talked a lot about this on our New World Order podcast, episode 3, Death and Taxes, and I'll put all the links in the description for the show notes. But you proved it, and why don't you tell our guests, our audience, how you proved it?
Well, I took my boss to court first, and I stopped them from taking taxes out of my pay. Then I went to the civil court, to the state court, all the way to the Supreme Court, and I challenged them all the way up, and they didn't want to hear me, so it ended up that they I fell through the cracks, and they didn't want to hear my 25 legal arguments. So, in a way, I won.
Well,
I wore them out.
I think that the proof is in the pudding in the way that they wrote you a check.
Yeah.
The IRS is not really in the habit of giving people their taxes back.
Not the full refund.
You all get a refund, and that's based upon what you paid in versus your deductions at the end of the year. So if you want the most given back at the end of the year, you claim 0 deductions at the beginning. Then at the end of the year, you claim all these deductions and they split the difference and they give you back a bunch of money. That's what your tax return is. You didn't get a tax return. You got a tax refund.
A total refund.
Correct.
Of $6,000 for 1 year.
That was all of the federal income taxes you paid for that
1
year. Yeah.
Yes.
And just because this is a new channel, tell everybody why it was only for 1 year.
Because the law only requires that it's a year contract. If you don't sign your W-2 and you volunteer to pay income tax on your wages, you break that contract. So it's only good for 1 year. Now, if you wanted to amend your taxes, go back 3 years, you could do that also. But then again, they would fight you. I got my refund in 2 years according to the law, and they had to give it to me because they couldn't contest my tax statement. It was 264 pages and had 25 issues on it, and they didn't want to argue with me.
And we'll have a link in the description. I have a shared Google Drive file for your tax statement. It's entertaining reading. If not enlightening, it's certainly entertaining. It's great stuff. Just thumb through it. I think I have it uploaded as a PDF.
And it's also on the Supreme Freedom Center. It's been posted on there.
Yeah.
And it's totally free, people. There's something free in this world.
Yeah, and you're not charging money for it. Now, the thing that impressed me when I met you, because my grandfather on my mother's side owned his own business his whole life. He was a Dutch immigrant, came over here during World War II. He was a tulip farmer, and he came over here and he started a greenhouse. And he never paid income taxes. And every time my mother and father would visit, they'd bring it up, and he would, because it's illegal. So he was definitely on that same.
And what year was that?
Well, I'm going back to my early memories when I was like 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, so he was ahead of the game.
We're talking mid 80s.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's when it basically started, when I started with Irving Schiff.
But I don't think he ever paid income taxes.
No, well,
so when I'm going back to when I'm 5, 6, 7, or 8, he's in his 60s.
Yeah. Well, no, he knew it ahead of time. A very educated man. He had to. He was very smart.
Yeah, he was also kind of a cunt, to be honest. But, so are you, to be honest. So am I, to be honest.
Who isn't?
Who isn't? We're all a cunt to somebody. But yeah, so I've heard about people like you my whole life, and then through happenstance, to be perfectly frank, a little bit of ritual magic, I came to meet you. And other than my grandfather, I've never met anybody that had won. Now, he never took the IRS to court. I think he just never filed.
That he didn't get caught. He got...
Right.
It was
a small business.
Yeah.
He maybe made like $160 a year, $170 a year, or something like that.
Yeah.
Back then that was good money, but it's not enough to get noticed.
Right.
Yeah. But you actually took the IRS to court, and I mean, if you can say you slipped through the cracks, I don't look at it that way, because at the end of the trial, they already had your money.
Yeah.
And they gave it back to you. The whole thing.
The whole thing.
So to me, that looks like a victory. What makes you think that maybe you just fell through the cracks?
The thing is, they couldn't take the 25 arguments to court because we would have been there for days.
So you think at the end of the day, you just weren't worth it for them to fight?
More or less.
Because the money wasn't there?
The money, the time and the effort they would have to do to try to convict me, because they couldn't convict me of a crime. That's the only time they get you. That's the way they got Wesley Snipes. They knew a crime. But the criminal, I did nothing criminal. I followed their rules, their regulations, and what their forms.
And let me just say this, because I don't want to spend too much time on the taxes. I just want to introduce you here. But there is a wonderful film, Freedom to Fascism, by Aaron
Russo.
Aaron Russo, who's a wonderful Hollywood director, where he goes into this and he's visiting accountants in New York City. Says, hey, show me where the law is that say I have to pay income taxes. Nobody can do it. There's one little hat people. He's a juice person. Accountant that he visits in New York City, and he's like, well, listen, I can't tell you the law, but what do you want? You want ajna? You want ajna? In other words, do you want the frustration of battling them? And so I've always heard about people like you. I've heard about this conspiracy theory that paying income taxes is illegal, but before I met you, I never met anybody that actually took the battle to the battlefield and won the battle. You actually won. I mean, when you show me, and we showed it on the New World Order Now podcast, link in the description, Death and Taxes, episode number 3, I show a photocopy of the check. We're not lying. All of the federal income taxes for that year, 2002, that you paid, I think it was 64 some odd $100,
about $6,400.
Yeah,
with interest
that you paid, they gave back to you. So it stands to reason for me, the proof's in the pudding. If somebody takes the powers to court and they win, even though nobody's paying it, especially if nobody's paying attention,
of course, and the case is
unpublished case, but there's a photocopy of a check and we show it on the podcast. Yeah. That was very interesting to me because, there's a lot of conspiracy theories that I've dug throughout the years that, it really just kind of gets my juices flowing. And that was one of them, but I've never met anybody that's gone through it until I met you, and you won.
Rule number 1, don't hire a lawyer. Wesley Snipes did it. He got screwed.
Fair enough.
Part of the problem.
Fair enough. Yeah. Now, I don't want to go into the whole tax thing. I just want to give you an introduction here.
That's my basic me.
Yeah. And there's the basic you. Ever since I came to be here through occult happenstance, and it's like you said to me the other morning when we were having our great conversation about religion. I think I did most of the talking. I was a little drunk, but I thought it was a good conversation. I enjoyed it. I think what I'm trying to say is that's something that's always interested me, but I've never met somebody who's done it. I just hear people talking, and then I meet somebody who's actually done it. So I'm meeting a human being, in my opinion, that's extremely courageous. And, you and I are both fans of Nikola Tesla.
Yes, and other odd people that have created things.
We're both not fans of Thomas Edison.
No.
Yeah, he did good work, but
we don't like J.P. Morgan.
We don't like J.P. Morgan.
No.
We're big into that. We seem to have a lot in common. And, I was intrigued. And it's like you said the other morning when we were having a conversation, I don't think that you said, so us meeting was not an accident. No. I don't believe in accidents. Einstein said God doesn't roll dice.
Oh, that's the way it happened.
Yeah.
So enjoy it.
It's cool. And as an introduction, that's the way you spend most of your time. You spend most of your time since I've met you. We've known each other for 3 or 4 years now. I think 3. You're generally on the internet trolling tax attorneys.
Yes. 8 in our block, I'm on your case.
You're actually like posting on their pages.
Yes,
though.
I'm posting on their page.
You don't have to pay income taxes. Fuck these guys. Read my tax statement.
Read my tax statement. And you know what? I get no replies, and sometimes, by some miracle, their ads stop posting.
What do you mean their ads
The
stop
ads
posting?
that I get, I'm the last guy with the... with
in other words, when you make a comment, all of a sudden nobody else is making comments.
Is commenting.
Well, listen, Harry, it takes a long time to read a 246-page tax statement.
Yes, it does.
So who's going to fucking go pay taxes until they read that shit? Hey, this guy doesn't pay taxes. We need to read that shit before we talk to the accountant.
Yeah, well...
Yeah.
Like I said, I met one woman today, and I gave her information. She's got to go to H&R Block, and I said, get my tax statement, read it, go through it, and then go ask H&R Block.
But this is seriously it's an obsession for you. This is the thing.
This is my cause. This is what I stand for.
This is the thing in your life that you're most passionate about.
Right.
So, every day we'd wake up. I usually wake up before you. And you'd come here into the studio. This is where I make camp. And I'd have some literature printed out from the computer waiting for me. It would be about taxes. It would be memes or information. And then when you wake up, every single morning for, I think, the first year that we were together, it would be an hour-long tirade from you to me. As soon as you wake up, you sit down, you haven't even drank your first cup of coffee, and you would be yelling about how income taxes are illegal to me for about an hour. Sometimes I was hungover, barely sober, and barely awake.
About that.
No, that's okay. But what I'm trying to illustrate how much of an obsession this is.
Oh, yes. This is my last battle. This is what I stand for. And it's all recited in my head. Well, like I said, I started in 1980, and now we got other organizations that are doing it. And there are 63 million people that have stopped filing income taxes since then. And at the last count was in 2025, 63 million people have stopped filing 1040s. That said something. And you don't hear about it in regular media.
Well, numbers don't lie unless you make them, and anything that the media is ignoring, I'm particularly interested in. And I have a saying that I'll say for myself. I invented it. The best books to read are the ones that governments want to burn.
Yeah. Well,
so if nobody's talking about it, there's got to be something there.
Well, like I said, just educate yourself.
Yeah.
I don't suggest it for everybody, but it worked for me.
So what I wanted to get to was you went from this guy who was 100% obsessed with this crusade. I am not the type of person who has a battlefield type of mentality. When I wake up in the morning and I'm drinking my first cup of coffee, I always have a New York breakfast. I have a cup of coffee and a cigarette. That's my breakfast. You know what I mean? I'm not a big...
Caffeine and nicotine.
Yeah, I'm not a big eater, you know?
Yeah.
So caffeine and nicotine, that's going to wake me up a little bit. Let's get going. Let's see what's going on. I'm not the type of guy that has a battlefield mentality. I would rather talk about how beautiful wood nymphs are at 6 o'clock in the morning, or who painted them the best. Yeah. Was it Cott in the Romantic period, or was it Stephen Christie Chandler, I think is his name, who did the murals for Cafe des Artistes that just recently went out of business 5 or 10 years ago in New York City? I'd rather have a conversation about that and look at beautiful pictures, especially of nude women, because, you know, I like looking at nude women. I'd rather talk about that at 6 o'clock in the morning, but here you are. I mean, you're in the trenches. So I just want to give that as a little bit of background to your character.
We all have our specialty.
So that we can contrast that a little bit to what seemed to develop. So do you remember how long I was here before we started the New World Order Now broadcast? By the way, guys, New World Order Now, think about it. NWO. I thought that was pretty clever. New World Order Now. But how long was I here before we started?
I don't recall.
Yeah. I think I was here for about a year, maybe.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of hard. You started with your brother. You had an idea way back, and you had to formulate it.
But I mean, it took us a few months to get it off the ground. We had to have, like, just the right amount of alcohol between us before...
Of course, you and your brother could knock off a case of beer with no problem.
Listen, man, Josh and I can knock off a case of beer in 15 minutes. Like, if a case in Pennsylvania is 15 cans, we can knock off a case in 15 minutes, dude. It's done.
That's your drug.
Yeah, sure. And nicotine. And coffee. And other things that I can't afford. But, so... We only did 2 episodes before we had you on, but I was here for about a year before we started the podcast, and you were reticent enough and kind enough to allow us to use this space because you weren't really using this room that now we have set up as a studio. I paint here. We do our podcasts here. I do recordings here. And that whole time, and then we did the podcast for another year after that, and that was still your singular obsession. And then suddenly, late at night, 3:00 in the morning, because you never close your doors, even when you go take a shit. I don't know what it is with older people. By the way, you're 79. I don't think you care about me telling people.
I got no children here. I got no women here.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I do have some women here.
I don't know what it is with. Yeah, we'll show them in a second. I don't know what it is with older folks, gentlemen especially. They just stop closing doors. So your bedroom door is open. Right? And I'm heading from the studio. Maybe I just finished editing a video or eating a piece of cheesecake. I don't know. I'm going to my side of the bunker. Your bedroom door is wide open. The light's blaring. Looks like daytime, even though it's 2:00 in the morning. Got all the lights on. And I hear, woo! I'm like, oh my God. I think Harry's fucking the vacuum. I don't know what the fuck's going on in there.
It was an air pump.
Yeah, it was an air pump, and what it ended up that you were doing is you were making people.
Yes.
And it's so strange to me to think back on this because for 2 years your singular obsession was death and taxes.
Right.
And then for 12 weeks, maybe, your singular obsession was creating people. So before we go any further, I want to show folks the types of things that you've created. First of all, Ralph is behind me, if you can see him. He's kind of like a sorcerer in a Zorro hat. And you made this way before this obsession started, which is really cool. He was kind of made for the New World Order broadcast.
Well, I'm making production products.
But none of them ever go into production. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, like I said, it was to improve the broadcast.
To improve the broadcast. This guy behind me, we named him. So you didn't even remember this until I reminded you. You kind of built him, and then I added certain features.
Yeah.
I added his shoulders because it didn't look right, and I put the reptilian eyes behind the old man mask. And you actually added the Zorro hat, and you added the gown, the wizard gown. That's all you, man. So he's built on a styrofoam head and a kind of like a coat hanger sort of mechanism.
Yeah, he was.
He was, yeah. What is he now? I don't even remember.
No, he's another blow-up doll.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's actually got
styrofoam boobs. And popcorn.
He's actually, yeah. I can feel him right there. He's actually got boobs. I forgot about that. So what you were doing in your bedroom, a year after you created this guy, at least, you were vacuuming styrofoam peanuts into like 1980s style blow-up sex dolls.
Yes.
Because you wanted to make people.
Right, I want to make it solid.
So I'm really curious because this happened suddenly. Your obsession with this happened as suddenly as it dissipated. What created the obsession with making people? Where do you think it came from?
I just woke up in the morning and said, let's how we can do the broadcast. They're talking about this or that. They need a backup. They need, I know. Maybe they need a good prop. What can I do for a prop? And
well, we do have a lot of props that you get for the table. Like this guy is the honey badger.
We had the guns on the wall.
We used to have the guns on the wall.
Now we got the head over here.
Yeah, I'm going to show the head, but we got this guy. Yep.
I said, I know what I'll do. Let me go check out what a blow-up doll. I know how to work with styrofoam. Maybe it's like building a mannequin would be good. So then again, I get a blow-up doll. They were cheap, like $120. I split open the back and I stuff popcorn in it.
Okay.
Then I seal it up, and then at the foot, I take the cans of grape stuff, and I'm shooting it down there, and the foam and the air's going out there, and now the thing's going up.
All right. So really, you make people.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm making a mannequin out of styrofoam.
Well, before we go any further, why don't we show everybody who's watching
Madame Kabush,
some of the people that you've made?
My nice Polish madam. She got a face that's a little hard.
See, you have a story for all of these people.
Yeah.
That's kind of what intrigues me. Like you're not just making props like, this would look cool on the show. No. When I say you're creating people, it's because every single one of these people that you create has a backstory, has a person, even though they never talk during the podcast. In your mind, when you were creating them, you were creating a personality.
Yes.
Yeah. And this one is Madame Babushka.
Caboose.
Oh, Kabushk?
Kabushi.
It used to.
She's a Polish
It changes
madam.
every time I talk to her.
She's a madam, and she's got a good, shapely body. So I gave her not a very pretty face, but she's got one hell of a body. And that's like having a grandma that's still hot.
There you
go. So I like older grandmas that still have it.
All right. And she is your madam, so
she's the madam of
the rest of the characters.
The rest of the characters.
Yeah, she's the leader.
Yeah. Right.
So who's this?
This is Dr. Frankenstein, champion of doctors of giving you circumcision at a discount rate.
Now, the really funny thing about this to me is this initially started off as a character that was meant to look like my brother who co-hosted the New World Order broadcast with me. And then eventually you turned him into an Hasidic Jew and a doctor to boot. And you started making circumcision jokes.
Well,
what happened with that?
Well, that was that we needed a doctor because we all have to have a little hat people on the show.
We have to have the juice on the show.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just a little blow-up doll, and we stood there, and then we had I got a bunch of costumes from a friend of mine, and I figure let's make costumes and put them on the dolls.
Yeah.
Because the dolls themselves are nothing. Let's build the character. So we made a doctor.
So you got like Halloween costumes.
Yeah, Halloween costumes.
He's like, and you made the face out of a Jason mask.
Yeah, and then again, that's a Jason mask. And then again, I got the phony wigs that they have. And I cut them and I glue them.
Yeah.
And now we have the doctor.
Yeah. So we got the doctor who will give you discount circumcisions.
Yeah. Yeah, specialty.
All right, let's see what else we got. Now, this one, can I tell you, before you even tell me why you decided to create, this one disturbs me the most.
Oh.
This looks, because the face of this one is actually a photograph of my mother that is pasted onto a Jason mask that is then tied over the enormous, way too large head of a very early 70s blow-up doll.
Yeah.
That's basically just a, what do you call it? Like a voodoo doll. It's just the very basic shape of what a human being is. It kind of looks like you skinned my mother's face off of her skull and glued it on another skeleton. Yeah. That's what it ends up looking like. And it's very disturbing. Her name on the New World Order podcast is the Great White Huntress. There's a funny story behind that. She was worried about self-defense. You bought her a handgun. 2 weeks went by. She realized she was afraid of it, and then traded the handgun that you bought for her as a gift back to you for a bow and arrow, so that at 68, when shit hits the fan, she can use a bow and arrow to hunt deer, even though she's never done that before. So, which is ridiculous. You're not going to figure that out unless you practice every day. And learn from somebody who already has experience, or teach yourself. So we decided to call her the Great White Huntress, and this character is for her. So tell me a little bit about what inspired you to create this one, other than that basic story.
She's wannabe preppist survivalist.
Yes, she does.
She's looking for the end of the world. I gave her a shotgun, a single-barrel shotgun. She still got that. I don't know if she fired it yet.
Yeah.
But she traded the handgun for the bow and arrow.
Yeah.
And then again, I sent away for the coveralls because she's always wants to do in the garden.
Oh, she wants to be like the stereotypical farm laborer.
Right.
Yeah, that's like her whole thing.
And I gave her one of my flannel shirts, and she got the hat, has a dog picture on it, and she loves dogs.
Well, she did replace all of her children with dogs.
Yes.
Plus one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what the story is. So therefore, she's our apprentice prepper for becoming a survivalist. But she can't kill her own chickens.
That's true. She did have a pen of chickens, and one of them got very sick. It couldn't hold its head upright anymore. Yeah. And I said, well, why don't you just kill it?
Put them in the pot.
Kill it and eat it. And she's, I can't do that. Could you do that? I was like, I don't know how. You don't know how? And I was surprised to learn she didn't. And not only that, but she had an emotional attachment to these animals, which are basically, chickens are basically just modern. She had a
burial for the
modern day dinosaurs. Yeah.
Oh, she probably had a burial for the chicken.
I'm sure she did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can't even kill her own chickens, but she's gonna go kill a deer with a bow and arrow that she's never used before. That makes sense.
It's much harder hunting with a bow and arrow than that with a gun.
No shit. Yeah. So that's the Great White Huntress. Yes. And then we have... I'm not really sure where this came from. You had a really good zombie costume. Yeah. Is this just... Because this doll, this person, went through many iterations. It didn't start out as a zombie. It started out as kind of a hot chick in a dress, and then it ended up as a zombie. And then we put the zombie costume on her. Yeah, that was the fourth iteration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
why zombie?
Well, that's where the world's going. Remember, we got the what was that that series about the zombies Walking Dead?
Walking Dead, yeah.
Well, we watched The Walking Dead, the whole series. So
yeah, and what a great series too. Yeah.
Let's have a Walking Dead here. Why not?
Well, yeah, and it's like you said, it's kind of the way the world is going.
These are basically styrofoam and blow up. Now, here is one of the most expensive ones that we made.
Yeah.
This is a $600 real sex doll.
Now this is it's not from the company Real Sex, but it is a silicone sex doll. It's like legit. It's not something that you filled up with peanuts. That was a blow up doll. So, but still, you got somebody that already looks like a super realistic human being, and you gave her a costume. I think this is once again. This is the second or third iteration.
Yeah.
The costumes seem to change. But now she's a gladiator.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about this young lady.
Well, I had a choice between a cop costume or a gladiator from Rome.
Yeah.
And I said, well, because we're into history and religion, we need a Roman god protecting us. So I just got the Roman god costume on her, and I think she looks good.
I think she looks good too.
Right. That's the good one.
Now, when you make these people and you have like a backstory, it seems like every single one is based on some sort of comedy. It's almost like an expectation of some sort of performance from this character. But all they do is they stand there, like the one behind you right now, which is dressed up like a witch, which is actually a very nice blow-up doll. It has like a real mannequin. It's one of the nice ones with like a mannequin head that you can shove your penis inside of. But the rest of the body is blow-up.
Yeah.
And she's dressed up like a witch. So, I mean, they can't perform, but...
I don't have to.
But you wanted like archetypal characters on the show somehow. So
well, that's our daughter.
Okay.
We had to give him a child. We can't leave him alone. He after all.
So Ralph is a reptilian alien, David Icke style.
He's the father of her.
Okay, so he gave birth to a half-human witch.
I don't know which one of them he got in contact with.
I'm guessing it was Babushka.
It could be, yeah. It could be. Well, they're both old anyway, so...
what I'm saying is it's just interesting to me that, this is very... pre-robotics, they don't move, they're not going to interact with you, they don't perform, but in your head, and you and Joanne have kind of the same thing, as do I with my paintings, it's not about them being able to do anything, it's about your personal interaction with them.
Yeah.
Let me leave it off right here for one moment. I got to take a pee. We'll be right back. And ladies and gentlemen, we're back. So what I'm trying to say when I say that you're interacting with them it's not props, because props don't have a backstory. So is the backstory and the personality necessary for you to realize what they should look like? Or is it just kind of a gambit?
It's just an idea that gets in my head, and I take a shot at it.
I'll give you an example of what I mean. Because Joanne does the same thing when she makes... I'm sorry, the Great White Huntress does the same thing when she makes puppets. She's giving them a personality and a backstory. But they perform. The sculptures that you're creating do not perform. So let me give you an example. This is a painting that I created that also does not perform. Obviously, it's a still image. This is my painting, The Baphomet. What I was doing when I created this, the story behind it, is taking everything about myself that I was wary of or afraid of or was trying to avoid and creating a powerful entity out of it. So for me, doing this painting was kind of an evocative alchemical experience. And I'm wondering if, just the same way as this painting is representative of an aspect of myself, maybe these creatures that you're making are also representative of different aspects of yourself.
Or maybe you're bringing your demon that's on the inside. You put yours on canvas. I put it into a body.
So are these people that you wish you were, that you feel like in some way you are, or that you wish you would meet?
Maybe they're my demons inside.
Okay.
My negative side, the side that don't come out all the time.
Okay.
All right.
That's what they look like to me. That's interesting.
It's like sometimes you have something that it's buried so deep, and when you bring it out, and it's totally opposite of what you appear to be to other people. Now, am I a zombie to people? I don't know. Maybe that's a creation. Here's my Roman god. Well, we need a Roman god to protect me, so she's my protection. Now we got we're about.
This is starting to sound a little bit like ritual magic. It is.
But we are going to build another one.
Yeah. So what's the new one you're going to make? One. Okay.
Do you remember?
But they're all funny.
Yeah. But did you remember the name?
And humor is the best talisman for protection.
Yeah.
And they're all funny.
Yeah.
But they're all your demons.
Yeah. I'm putting this demon out. Do you remember the 1950 space movies with the robots that look like squares that they go?
Oh, hell yeah, dude! What's the one? Danger, Will Robinson. What's that one?
Yeah, that was what?
Lost in Space.
No, that was Robbie's robot.
Okay.
All right. Or you go to Doctor Who with the garbage cans that they make the.
Yep.
But what I'm going to build next, because I got a spare head in the bedroom. Just a head.
So you had wait. So you have a spare
head,
like sex doll head?
Yes.
Good. What are you gonna do with this?
I'm gonna build a robot out of boxes and build a square body for it.
Oh my god!
And put the beautiful head on it.
Cardboard boxes.
Yeah, cardboard boxes. I put the head on it, and I may take. I got about 14. White gowns from that you graduate from high school, and put one of them on it.
Yeah. How are you gonna fit a graduation gown around a stack of boxes?
I'll find a way. Just like we took the foam head off Alf and we made your brother.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, we haven't showed that yet. Let's show that. So this has been a little strange to me. Let's show the people what we're talking about. This is something I was fairly disturbed by because you made this while my brother and I were having a bit of a spat, and he wasn't on the. I fired him from the New World Order broadcast, from our podcast. He just pissed me off.
Temporary layoff.
Nah, yeah, well, he pissed me off. It wasn't meant to be a temporary layoff by any means. It was certainly meant to be permanent. And then all of a sudden, you come up with this sculpture, which is hanging in our studio.
Yeah.
I think you can kind of see it, like, right up here. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you come up with this, And God damn it, it's just a styrofoam head.
That's all it is.
And you glued some fucking hair to it. I don't know how long you spent on it, but it wasn't terribly long. And God damn it, every time I look at it, it looks just like him. Like, I've imbued this thing with his personality. Like, if I want to talk to him, he's right there.
Yeah, right.
He's right there.
He's right behind your shoulder.
Yeah, he's right there. And the disturbing thing about this to me was we were having a fight, and you, for some reason, decided to put my brother in a used toilet bowl seat.
Yeah.
And you painted it red. The Viking hat came later. And I was like, okay, listen. So you recreated my brother, who apparently either you miss him or you're as angry at him as I am. Because when I look at this, it either looks like a ritual curse. You stuck my brother's head in a toilet bowl. Or it looks like you fucking miss him and you want him back. And I was like, dude, which one is it? And you couldn't give me a straight explanation. I was like, you know what? Sounds like you miss him. So we invited him back, and he decided to come.
Yeah, well, what's the sign below him? Psycho ward.
Yeah, it sure is.
So, hey, listen, if he can't laugh at himself, hey, that's the way it is. He's part of this show.
Well, he's capable of laughing at himself as long as he gets to control the narrative.
Oh,
as long
that's
as
the problem.
Well, listen, if you want to, I've even seen him, now he's a big guy. I've even seen him get insulted over somebody telling him that he needs to lose weight. All right, dude. I mean, come on. You're almost 300 pounds. Let's go. You're going to get insulted? He loses his shit when people contradict his narrative. Like, the reason why he got fired in the first place is because we were playing the interview between two fake people. And Howard Stern did this in the fucking 80s and the 90s. He had two fake people on. One was, so what we did was one was pretending to be a Christian pastor, and the other was pretending to be a Zionist Juice.
That was
person.
Frankenstein.
Rabbi Finkelstein. You can look it up on YouTube. The interview is hilarious if you have a sense of humor. So our whole thing was the Great White Huntress, my mother, decided that Christianity was incorrect, and she became a Messianic Jew. So I was like, all right, let's do an episode on this. I want to know what the juice people, the little hat people think. Let's do an episode on that. And you show me this interview. Obviously, the people are fake. I mean, the dude, Finkelstein, is talking about taking the goy babies and grinding up the unbaptized goy babies and turning them into McDonald's hamburgers. It's a satire of anti-Semitism. I am pretending, and not well. I am doing it with an obvious theatrical flair, so I'm not taking it seriously. You can imagine. But I am pretending that I'm taking it seriously. Well, wait a second, talking head. He says that it's very important that the little hat people grind up the goy babies. Why? I'm just trying to understand their religion. I'm not familiar with it. Like, it was like that sort of thing. And he lost his shit. He refused to participate in the broadcast. He said it was disgusting. And I was like, oh, well, I apologize, Mr. White Collar, head in the clouds, nose in the air. You don't think that people satirizing themselves is funny anymore? We all need to take ourselves so seriously we can't make fun of... I mean, it's making fun of racism. It was making fun of anti-Semitism, the bit that we did. It was making fun of Christianity, religiosity, groupthink, tribalism. It was making fun of all the things that the New World Order broadcast stands against. And he wouldn't even participate in it. And I just had to end the broadcast because he kept he kept throwing a wrench in the gears. Like, he wouldn't even just let it ride. Like, he kept, like, throwing a wrench in the gears. And he had done that twice previously within the last 6 weeks. And I was like, you know what? You're done. So this sculpture is the only reason why I brought him back, is because I was like, I don't think Harry is of the type of mind that he's going to throw a ritual curse at my brother. I think he misses him. That's why he's making his head in a toilet bowl. I think the psychology of the toilet bowl is, I threw him out and you're resurrecting him.
Come out of there. You know.
Get out of the toilet where your brother shoved you.
Could be.
So that's the way I saw it. So we invited him back on. But tell me what was going through your head when you created this fucking thing.
Well, the thing
because this fucking thing is an abomination that's been hanging on my wall that I've been shitting on for 2 years, and now it's hanging on my wall with nothing between it, my ass, and the shit that sprayed out of my ass, but a coat of fucking spray paint.
Well, maybe you were shitting on him, and now you were feeding him, and he thinks you shit on him, and he can't deal with it.
But what was going through your head when you made it?
Well, we had the foam head. I said, what am I going to do with him? Let's make a head number 6.
Talking Head number 6 is his character's name on the New World Order podcast.
Oh, well, then we changed the toilet bowl. We put a new toilet bowl in. And
yeah, so we took the old seat that we've both been shitting on for decades. Me for a few years, you for decades, no doubt. That's how dirty it was. You put a thin coat of lacquer, red lacquer on it. You're like, that's good enough. Let's hang it on the wall.
It's like coming out of hell. The toilet bowl seat records the gateway to hell.
Okay.
And now you're coming out of hell.
Yeah, but I put him in there. You took him out. What was your impetus for taking him out of hell?
Oh, well, just let him hang out and we could pick on him.
So this is actually just bringing him back as a caricature.
I can't put a curse on anybody. You can. I can.
I way too successfully lately. Yeah. That's why I haven't done it in a while.
But I thought it was fun.
So you just wanted to bring him back on the show without him actually being here.
Yeah.
So we could continue to pick on him.
Yeah.
Just like you do with all the other characters.
Yeah, we pick them on.
All right. That makes a lot of sense.
But we don't have no people.
I get it.
We don't have no real people coming here that we could have confrontations with. Remember that one broadcast we had that it got very serious between me and your brother, and it was like a battlefield?
What was the topic of discussion? I remember there being one that was contentious.
Yeah.
Where I didn't talk a lot. I was the moderator because I knew it was going to be a contentious episode.
It was,
but I don't remember what the topic of discussion was.
He was bringing out facts. I was bringing out conspiracy theories.
Well, listen, his facts aren't facts. His facts are anti-conspiracy theory, but they're still theories. Let's be honest.
Yes. Well, everything's a conspiracy. So we went back and forth, and it got down to a serious thing. Well, not serious, but more. There was no humor in it.
None at all.
Right.
Oh my God, none at all. But it was an interesting episode. I just, for the life of me, I remember that I was interested in it. And then I can't remember.
I don't know if you planned.
And then I can't remember what it was about. So really, was it that interesting, or was the combat the thing that was interesting? You know what I mean?
I think the subject was interesting. You planted the seed bloomed, and we went back and forth, and it ended up between me and him, going back and forth.
Right.
But see, that's life. Sometimes you come across that.
But it's funny, I can't remember what the war was about. I just remember the battle.
Yeah.
So what's the most interesting thing? Is it the idea that you think you stand for, or is it the battle?
I don't know.
You know? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know what it was, but you know what? It got interesting.
Yeah. I was interested while it was happening. I just can't remember what it was about.
Well, then it can't be that important. Remember,
That's weird.
This whole thing is to
so fucking weird.
Bring things to light and let the people get into their brain and drop the seed on them and see if they could open up their brain.
May I say something that's an opinion, which is much like an asshole and that everybody has one? Fuck the people. Fuck them. Seriously. I don't care about them. Do you care about them?
No, I'm more...
You put one in a toilet bowl. He's the people. That's the people!
Yeah. Well, like I said, I got my demons in me, and every once in a while the demon comes out.
They do. They do kind of look, now that I'm thinking about it that way, they do look like demons. I'm working on a portrait of you. It's very large. I don't usually get to paint from life. I usually paint from drawings, still images, or photographs that I create in various ways in Photoshop or whatever. Because that way I have reference, and it's really difficult to get people to sit. So you decided that you would acquiesce to my request and sit for me, so I could do a life portrait of somebody. And you're my best friend, so who else should be the first one? Definitely you. And I'm definitely putting fucking Baboobshka in the background because even her posture, let me see if I can bring her back up here so we can show her on the camera. There she is. Even her posture looks like a fucking demon. She's like, yo. She's like this. Yo, what up? What up? She's just like, yo, here I am. What do you think of me now? She looks like a fucking demon, dude.
She looks like a hot grandmother.
I've never looked at it that way before. These are your demons.
A hot grandmother that can't say, I never done that before.
But these are parts of your personality. These are your characters.
Well, maybe I'm looking for a hot grandma like that.
Yeah, nowadays all you find is fucking AI. It's fucking depressing.
Yeah, well, see, that's another thing that disappoints me.
Yeah.
I try the dating sites and it's all AI or robots or this.
Yeah.
And there are no real people out there.
But these characters do look like demons. They look like shells of archetypes. Like they look like they have, like, visually, like they look like they have enough of a personality that you're frightened of what they would think, but they know nothing of life. They look like archetypes. Like, that's what an archetype is. An archetype is a human ideal. Now, you can have positive human ideals or negative human ideals, but it's an archetype. It's a purity thought form. A hard parallel in the occult to an archetype would probably be an egregor. It's just a thought form, but an archetype is a thought form that all humans have in them already. An egregor is a unique one that you've created.
No, it's like people creating a horror film, and people go see the horror film, and they get scared, but they know in the end they're safe. And they want to be scared, or they want to play the hero or whatever, and they put themselves in the movie, but after the movie's over with, they're the same people they were, and they're not who they want to be. It's what they wish they could be.
Now, I wanted to bring up a couple of other things, because there are some artists that make people.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I would.
So we talked about this. Anton LaVey, I am a Satanist. Anton LaVey, and founder of the Church of Satan, had a bar in the basement of his black house in California called the Den of Iniquity. And he was very upset at the fashion changes in the world and the sexual changes in the world and the lack of prurience in sexual culture in the 60s and 70s. So he created a bar where he could kind of reenact his perfect time, 1930s, 1940s. And you can see in this image, you got a cab driver that's pulling up a girl's skirt so he can look at her thigh-high nylons.
Yeah.
And she's giving him the bird. And then if you look at the lower left hand, there's a fatter woman that's passed out drunk at the bar and pissed herself. So it's like he said in the interview that I showed you, I don't create beautiful people. Sometimes my people are dark, sometimes they're debauched. But to me, over time, they become more human than most people. And perhaps at the end of the day, for me at least, they have more to offer me in the way of companionship than most people actually do. So I was curious, when you were creating your people, is that something that crossed your mind? Because for him, it's very evident, and I think he even says it in a couple of essays. For him, there was no comedy, very little comedy. It was really a way to alleviate loneliness that was born out of his hatred of humanity. Do you see something like that in your own work? I mean, every single one, none of your people are beautiful people. They're all debauched. They're all archetypes of the worst trends. They're all, hey, I'm a sex doll. Hey, I'm a witch. Hey, I'm a madam. Hey, I'm a Jewish doctor that is Finkelstein and grinds up goy children in the hamburgers. Hey, I'm the great white huntress who's one of the most pretentious people on the face of the planet, and now I look like I'm wearing a mask of my own skin. Yeah. And hey, I'm a zombie, which is the most literal metaphor for American capitalism and consumerism that you can have. They're all very negative aspects of archetypes, but like godheads, archetypes, like pure human personalities. But they're all very dark. They're all comedic. And they're all draped in the misery of the worst aspects of human beings. Why do you think that those are the people you chose to create?
Because maybe people really like that. And they're in denial of themselves.
Maybe they are really like that, and they're in denial of themselves.
Really don't see themselves as that, and they deny themselves the fact they can be that. And the fact is, everybody has an ugly side, but we control it because we have different type of controls. We have fear of religion, we fear of laws, fear of anything that line of fear that we will not cross into our dark side of who we are.
I think people are afraid of taking a look in the mirror when nobody else is around.
Right. They're afraid to see, I'm not that bad of a person.
Well, yeah, maybe you are.
Because there are people that, if you put in the right circumstances, they become bad because of circumstances.
Sure.
So therefore, maybe I want to make a mirror and I want to look at the dark side of people and remember, well, I'm not perfect. This is my dark side.
You know what else LaVey said, if you don't remember, in the documentary, that I think is apropos to you? Think about this for a second. He was saying, when he was talking about his people, I think, it's led me into occupations and vocations such as starting the Church of Satan. Now, what I'm not trying to do, I'm not trying to whitewash the lowest element of society. But what I am saying is that perhaps the most accepted, the most beautiful, the most pristine, the most whitewashed people are, at the end of the day, really not that interesting. And that's why the people that he's created are generally debauched, are generally at their lowest point. Now, I think what he does with his sculptures is a lot more subtle than what you've done. But I think he's making a point that you might agree with, where if I ask you, why do you pick the darkest available archetypes of the human soul? You know, the ideograms of personality, the madam, the zombie, the truly ignorantly self-righteous, the stereotypical Jewish doctor who cannibalizes the foreskins or whatever.
Or that's the dark side of the people that they don't do. They don't look at themselves. People deny themselves their own existence, and they say I can't be like that. I'm not ugly. Sure, you're ugly. Just give me the right circumstances, you'll become ugly.
You know, and it's kind of like, nobody thinks they're a bad person. Everybody thinks they're one. Hitler thought he was a wonderful person.
Yeah.
He thought he was doing the right thing. And when you're convinced of it, it takes away the ability to truly look at yourself, doesn't it?
Yeah. But if you're seen ugly enough, you accept it as part of life.
And it gives you the ability to take an honest look at yourself.
Right. Take an honest look at yourself and see what you are.
Yeah.
Or what you can become if you get the bad circumstances. The Prohibition proved that. Very simple. They created more gangsters during the Prohibition than any other time.
100%. Oh, yeah. We make it illegal. Now you have to pay off the politicians because everybody wants it. It's just making illegal what everybody wants.
Right. And the thing is, it created more of a problem, but the thing is, the government started it with the Prohibition, so therefore, whose fault is it?
Right. Whose
fault started the seed?
Right.
If they started Prohibition, they ended up with gangsters. Now what have we got? The politicians are the gangsters, and they're holding people hostages, and they're the bad guys.
I think that artists, and I know that this obsession stopped with you very suddenly. Yeah. It stopped as suddenly as it started. I know you're going to make a new one, but I saw it was 1 week we're on taxes, the next week we're on making people. Right. 6 weeks later we're back on taxes. It was very cut and dry. It was a phenomenon in personality shift that I've never seen before. But I do consider you an artist, and I do kind of look at what you've done with these characters, and there is more to it, in my opinion, than just having some fun with sex dolls for the sake of the show. Normally, when I ask you which character you'd like to have on the show, what do you say?
What kind of characters on the show?
No, normally when I ask you which character do you want me to pull out for the show,
I just pick one.
Yeah, you don't give a shit.
No, I don't.
So I think there's more to it than that. What I will say for dark artists, because I do consider you an artist, for dark artists, when we're showing you the darkest aspects of these things, it's not because we're obsessed or we're trying to whitewash, like LaVey said, the lowest elements of humanity. What we are saying is that the highest, supposedly, elements of humanity are already whitewashed. If, you're supposed to be the smiling, gleaming supermodel with perfectly proportionate features who never says or does or thinks anything that is in any way outre or controversial, are you really that interesting? And if you're not really that interesting, if you're just following prescribed procedure so that other people accept, adore, and like you, how different are you from AI? Because that's what it's doing. Do you have opinions or tastes or an appearance or perhaps a smell that's controversial, you're not a dollar bill that's meant to be loved by everybody. So maybe the things about people that are the most interesting are the things that make us perhaps a little uncomfortable, that make us stand back for a second, stop following a script, and have a real conversation with another human being who's not us, who's also not following a script. Maybe the most interesting thing about people is when they make us a little uncomfortable, and then they make us reevaluate ourselves. They make us question our standards. When shit's no longer automatic, we get to the real point. That's why I don't make art that's comfortable. I try to make art that makes me uncomfortable. And if it makes me uncomfortable, it's definitely going to make you uncomfortable. And if you're the type of person that appreciates the aftermath of being made to feel uncomfortable, and the aftermath is generally thinking and coming to new conclusions, remaking yourself. If you're the type of person that enjoys that, you're my audience. And frankly, I think that the same thing could be said for you, and I do consider you an artist. And every time I talked about bringing you on the show, you kind of chuckled at me, but I do. I do consider this art. I really do.
You consider it an art form?
I do. You're bringing above the surface the darkest aspects as a totem, as an archetype of what humanity is. I do. I do consider it art.
Well, I think confrontation in your life brings good and bad. And you look at the bad and you look at the good.
When somebody says to me, it brings good and bad, I hear it brings experience. Experience is always a good thing. Well, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, well, life experience makes what you are. Like if I said, I tell you how to fight a fire, and I'm a firefighter. Okay, I went in the buildings and I put the fire out. You have no idea about it, and I could tell you about it, but I tell you my experience about it. And now you could only imagine running into a fire.
Well, it's just like war. Same thing. Sure.
Yeah. We got to have experience in life to test our souls, to test our being, to test what we are.
Absolutely.
To test our mettle.
That's what makes it fun.
And then again, you could find out what you're capable of. If
Absolutely.
You're not capable of anything, then you're nothing but a robot.
Absolutely.
But then again, they don't have control over you once you get to that point. They can't. They'll say it's like the elephant with the stake in the ground. He goes like this, and they think he can't get his leg out. He goes like this, he's gone.
Yeah. But the elephant doesn't know that.
The elephant don't know that because
Right.
he's been taught otherwise.
Sure.
We do that to our children. We limit our children to what they could be. I mean, if you find something that you're interested in, you yourself have to go after it because no one's going to push you to it. Most people will not help you to get to that goal.
You know what Anton LaVey said about satanic aesthetics? Do you know what aesthetics are? I know my vocabulary, generally speaking, I leave people in the dust. Yeah. I don't know why. Guys, I dropped out of high school. So I don't know why. It's probably because I read books more than talk to people. But aesthetics, do you know what aesthetics is?
What it looks like, the appearance.
Exactly. And it's how the study of aesthetics is how appearance, visually, audibly, whatever, affects you as the observer. Anton LaVey said about satanic aesthetics. He said this: when women dress like archetypal whores and men dress like archetypal villains, then the other, the dark side, the satanic, is being celebrated. And frankly, that's the type of art and aesthetics that I'm interested in, because it's something that we all need to face that is not being brought to light actively. So when I go to the Museum of Modern Art in New York City and I see all these coloring book pages torn out and scribbled upon and nailed to the wall in an art exhibit, this is a true story, I'm not feeling anything. It's not broadening my sense of what it means to be human. It's atavism. And it's not good atavism. It's not good being brought back to your animal nature. It's just basically de-evolution, devolution. Atavism at this point in our society, I think, would be evolution. And it's like Anton LaVey once again said, now we're at an age where the animals must be our gurus. But scribbling in coloring books and nailing them to the walls is not atavism. It's simply a renegotiation of order into chaos. And frankly, I think that art is meant to bring the darkness into the light so that through an aesthetic vehicle like people or like through paintings, we can explore that and learn something about ourselves. And yes, I do think you're an artist, and I think you have brought up some very dark archetypes in your people, and it gives people an opportunity, if you look at it, if you experience it, if you don't dismiss it, it gives you an opportunity to experience something about being a human being that you're not likely to want to think about without the confrontation. Well, and yes, I do consider you an artist, and I appreciate your work.
Well, like I said, I do it to enhance the show.
And I know comedy is a big vehicle for that. I get it, but it doesn't take away from the succor. Yeah. It doesn't take away from the power of it, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, like I said, let's bring the dark side out, because let's look at each other and have a dialogue between us. Because I don't know what anybody would think if I'm taking these things and they'll say, textiles and foam, and what are they doing? Why is he spending money on this? Costumes for Halloween? Well, I don't celebrate Halloween. You guys do. I'm just making fun of you by putting the costumes on.
Right.
So therefore,
you hate the holidays, I know.
Yeah, I got a confrontation. You want to follow Halloween? I'm going to show you what Halloween is. I'm going to create the dark side. And that's what it is. And I don't know how many we got about 20 more costumes there. And like I said, it's fun building them. And when they stand behind you, people say, what the hell is standing behind them?
Well, right now it's a witch with a battle axe.
Yeah, we got Alp's daughter, and there's Alp there. And we got him still hanging around.
Yeah, he's still there.
At least I got him out of the toilet bowl.
and he's still in the toilet bowl, trust me.
Like I said, art has to give you a feeling, a reaction, a period of confrontation. That's like the last night when we were watching about Germany and the German art. They want to keep hidden.
Yeah.
Why do you want to hide art?
I'm going to talk about that in another podcast.
Yeah, well, like I said.
But we don't have the time to go into that now. But
that's a very deep subject.
That's a very deep subject.
That's a very deep subject that has a lot more to it.
Yeah.
My art is for fun.
It's for fun, but I think that, if you allow it to, it opens up a doorway, because if you look at them as a collection, just like we just have, image by image by image, they're all the darkest parts. I mean, the most heroic one you have is the gladiator. Other than that, they're the darkest type of archetypes, type of smears against the human ego. And people deny the darkness within themselves. Everybody says, well, I would never be a Nazi. I would never be a Nazi. Hey, guess what, asshole? If you were in Germany in 1935, and we're going to go into this in the next podcast, and Hitler was offering you this great life and you didn't know any Jews because they remained a separate community. They didn't really they remained separate. That's what they do. You might have been a Nazi. You might have been. It's very easy to say after the fact, I would have never. But how do you explain what all those people did? It doesn't make any sense. Because you're not evolving. So I like your work because if you just take a moment, be like, why is he creating these types of things? It's like, oh, this is the shit that we ignore about ourselves.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I'm open to whoever I am, and I accept who I am, and I do have different faults or different characters or a different side of me.
Exactly.
And I bring it out.
Exactly.
I'm not ashamed of it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a creative act. We have to create something, and if it don't get you to move, then you got to be dead.
I love it.
Your art is a little on the dark side, and people.
So is yours.
Yeah, but yours is a lot more. I would say professional.
Yeah, but it's what I do.
Right. Your art is more professional than what I do. Mine is more like a joke.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Maybe you weren't trying to hit something. I feel like you did.
Well, it is what it is. Enjoy it.
Okay.
But if someone wants me to build one for them, yeah, I could do that. But then again, I gotta know what they want to create.
Nah, that's fine. I think you should create people for your own edification. And if other people, such as myself, are also interested in them, then we are thereby edified by them. And I think within the context of the New World Order broadcast, they take on additional power because of the context. It's just like, if I scribbled on a coloring book page and nailed it to a wall, nobody would pay any attention. But now it's nailed to the wall in the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. That gives it weight and context. Then people go, So I think context is paramount for work that is not whose craftsmanship is lacking. But if it's edifying, which I think your work is, I think that's all that matters. I think it makes you look at yourself and it makes you consider things, if you allow it to, that you haven't considered before. And I think that's excellent. I do consider you an artist. And I was really displeased with the fact that you stopped so abruptly. And I do hope that you start to make more, because we don't want to fill up the whole compound.
No.
But
then I got to build another building.
Yeah, but I liked seeing you be so creatively passionate. It was a lot of fun. It was more than fun. It was electrifying, because it made me want to do more than just make images. Like, why am I making images? What am I trying to expose? What am I trying to say? And it was great. It was great.
Mark of an artist.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yep.
Harry, thanks so much for doing this with me. I know we just did a podcast already. I've had you here for like 4 hours, man.
Yeah. Well, people, go to his website and look at his art. It's great.
Well, I appreciate that. I think that's about it. Artists always have to go. Travel to where you feel most afraid. I think that's the advice we're seeing here today. Thank you so much for watching the Evilution Podcast. And until next time.
We had our time, but we took it too much and threw it away and squandered it. Rolling through the ashes and dreaming